There is a lot to unpack there, from the horror of the situation, which has escalated significantly since then, to the use of the phrase tit-for-tat war in a conflict where you just pointed out one side has suffered over 10 times the casualties. Something which speaks to both the severe power imbalance at play here and how that often gets obscured by how we choose to talk about it. And look, if you are not fluent...
Welcome to the update. John Oliver has finally given his view of the recent Palestine-Israel conflict. He talked about how Palestinians are being mistreated by the Israeli government and the power imbalance in the region. Israel seems to have more power and is using that to excessively harm Palestinians. He further talked about how the US government has unfairly sided with Israel during this conflict for almost 2 decades. John Oliver's views are slightly similar to Trevor Noah's views. In an episode released a few days ago, Trevor Noah also talked about the power imbalance in the region and that Israel causing a lot of damage to Palestine, more damage than necessary. This recent escalation has even led to the killing of children and civilians in great numbers. The famous video creator, Naz Daily, also gave his own opinion and view of the recent Palestine-Israel conflict. In a post titled "Jews and Arabs Can Be Friends," Naz stated the following: "The truth is, if the conflict was as easy as 1 + 1 = 2, it would have been fixed in 1948. There is a reason this conflict has lasted for 70+ years. It's complicated. I won't go into the details of it, because it's endless. But here is my observations from last week: the Palestinian lives matter less. In this conflict, not all lives are equal. And that's sad. If we consider Palestinian lives as equal as any other life, we wouldn't have so much death." All these 3 media personalities have made the same observation, that Palestinians are not being heard and treated fairly. I personally don't know much about the Palestine-Israel conflict, but I do know about life and the need to preserve human life. A more diplomatic approach will be needed here. Third-party mediators like the US government need to be neutral in this, even though we can clearly see that the US already has a favorite in this dispute. What could be the solution to the Palestine-Israel conflict? Let me know what you think about this issue in the comments section below. That's it from the update.